Now, there's a lot of people that were rather upset when the Mueller report found no evidence of criminal conspiracy involving Russia. Now, there's a lot of people, a lot of pundits, spent 2 years saying how Donald Trump had conspired with the Russian government to hack the DNC. Now, to be fair, I was always skeptical about that, but even I fell victim to some speculation, and I'll be completely honest with you guys about that. That said, the one thing about this that I was never unsure about is how dumb President Trump is. He is monumentally stupid. And according to legendary reporter Bob Woodward, apparently not mentally capable of actually planning a conspiracy with the Russians. I actually agree with that. Now, on the heels of another book, of course, he plans to write, or has already written, he told Axios that he's very disturbed by how disorganized and out of the depth the president is as leader of the free world. Quote, "It's a governing crisis. He doesn't know how to govern." Woodward told Axios, "People who work with Trump say, you can't even organize your own government. How could you possibly organize a conspiracy with Russia? He doesn't even have a to-do list, as best I can tell." That's because he has no idea what he's doing. He's not a smart person. The president is so dumb, they contend, so incredibly incompetent, anti-intellectual, feckless, and possibly even mentally damaged that he could never pull off a conspiracy with Russia. Dang. And look, that may be harsh, but I agree with that. Now, that's not to say that the Russians didn't try. Of course they did. The report contains a great deal of evidence that Russian officials attempted to work with Donald Trump and his team, or at least his team and not Donald Trump himself, in numerous ways, and that many of them were aware and receptive of that help. But ultimately, Trump himself was just too dumb to do it. He ultimately was cleared, so far at least, because of his legendary incompetence. It's not that he didn't want to. He wanted to, but he was too dumb to make it happen. I mean, man. But then again, look, none of this should be surprising when you look at Donald Trump's record. I mean, for one, he's a failed businessman. He went bankrupt 6 times, despite getting a massive advantage, having more wealth when he was 6 years old than most of us will see in 20, maybe 30 years. He, again, has no business sense whatsoever. Daddy had to bail him out 6 times. 6 times. Just imagine being Donald Trump's dad and watching your son fumble and bumble around like an idiot. I mean, look, let's be honest. Donald Trump's dad, not a good person, terrible person, actually. And we've talked about that before, right? But he was a good businessman. Let's be fair about that. So every time Donnie messed up and got bailed out, imagine. I mean, look, again, he's not a good person. Trump's dad, and neither is Donald Trump, like father, like son. And so I can just imagine every time getting bailed out. Oh, how'd you, run a casino into the ground again, you dummy, you loser, you sad baby? Boy, that explains why Trump is the way that he is. It's also kind of sad because look, he wanted so much to be loved by Daddy, but was just too much of a loser dummy to make it happen. Oh man! But as usual, his sheer lack of competence again shields him from facing real consequences. At the end of the day, sad. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.